Today, PCSA stock skyrocketed by nearly 185% compared to yesterday's close. During the pre-market session, you can see here how it started, hovering around this area, $2.31. It came out with news of the phase 1 trial of this company focuses on helping patients suffering from cancer right now. So they came out today saying that they had great results from the phase 1 trials and they were advancing to phase 2 trials. All of that information is to be taken in consideration. Now they need a little bit of FDA approval if they are going to use some of the data from the phase 1 into the phase 2, using it to the patients that are affected by breast cancer, right? So we gotta keep an eye on what happens moving forward. But going back to the main topic of this video, I want to show you around here a couple of key takeaways from the action from this morning and how to identify these movers. The first thing is that he came out with decent news, right? So he had good results. It doesn't really matter if the news are great in your eyes or not. What matters really and what counts is the reaction from the market. Now, over the last couple of days, we have seen a lot of volatility and a lot of run-ups, ramp-ups in stocks skyrocketing and surging like crazy because a lot of people are jumping into them. Now, what to do with when you see a stock coming out? The news were decent today, and the reaction of the market over the next few minutes from the pre-market hours into the opening bell was actually okay. The first thing you have to notice here is that it started to ramp up a little bit of resistance on this area on a high of $3.75, and then you have a little bit of the ceiling here and the floor around this area, very close to the whole dollar area around $3 mark and this pocket. So the VWAP is right there. You can see how it held that support and ramped up into the opening bell, held the VWAP and ramped up again. Now, one thing, it's not easy necessarily. I wouldn't say that it's the easiest thing to trade, right? But the first thing is how to identify these things. You got to look at the news. What are the news? What's happening? You have this bull flag pattern right here. We have this nice flag formation that you can see on the 5-minute, right? So it's holding support. Now the second thing is okay, it has news on it. It's ramping up. It's putting in a flag formation into the opening bell. Chances are it's going to hold, but if it doesn't hold, what happens? You want to get out. Now, if it does hold, and I guess you can see here how it happened. This is what I do. I'm not telling you what to do whatsoever, but this is what I do. The first thing is, okay, if you notice a little bit of resistance, if I notice that it has a ton of resistance, I look into the areas that have support. And after the opening bell, what area do I think that's going to hold support? The VWAP area. It's probably going to be the area where if it doesn't have support, well, chances are it's going to come down, retest, and roll over from there, go down. Now, in this case, it did hold support. You can see a little bit of resistance right here with the ceiling, $4.43, very close to the $0.50 area, but support held and ramped up to this area. Now, this is a key area where we can see 591 holding and becoming that resistance zone that we have to pay attention to. Now, interesting flag formation on the pre-market hours, holding, pushing with a hanging man right here on the 5-minute time frame, rolling over into the VWAP support and ramping up again to find resistance very, very close to the $6 mark, right? So this pocket is very interesting for me. Particularly, I have noticed in the past how the 10-cent mark before the whole dollar area with the support and resistance is always a key level to keep an eye on. Now, going back to what I was saying, this stock ramped up today. First thing is it had news. Phase 1 trials, advancing to phase 2 trials, depending on the results. If they are able to use some of the results and the data that they have from the phase 1 trials to roll it into the phase 2 using this medicine or this drug for the people that are being affected with breast cancer, right? Again, look at the news, form an idea, and look at the reaction of the market. If this market, it starts to ramp up and you notice that it has some areas of support that you can base your trade off of, then buy, hold it long. But if you start to notice where it starts to pick up resistance, you can see this pocket right here. The second time around, it starts to go sideways. The second time around, when this thing doesn't really break and actually gives you a fake out, this is chances that it's probably not going to hold, right? And you can see here how we had this flush in the 1 minute time frame with a high of the $5.91 and the low of $5.70. Although the range is just 21 cents, you can see how it held this area for that previous resistance. It came down to retest the VWAP. It started to hover around it and consolidate around it, just to then dip under it. Like I said before, come down, up, retest, and roll over again. Let's just bring it a little closer here. Come retest, come down, and just wash out, right? By the end of the day, it did have a surge, and there is a possibility, again, looking into where we have this small flag formation here as well in this area, that this could be a key level to watch for tomorrow. It found resistance around this zone, and it will be very important to see how the market is going to react into tomorrow, because if you look at the daily here, now we have a bottom in the low of the 52-week low is 202, which was actually yesterday, right? So if this reaction and people start to accumulate shares looking to hold this for 1 or 2 months because they think that they're going to have good results moving forward, people might come in and put a lot of shares now that it has printed 52-week low with only $2.02 per share yesterday. So that's one of the things that I look for to identify areas and stocks that I can trade and risk not really too much. Again, I wouldn't say it's so easy, but the first thing for me is very important. It's key. What is the news? And then what is the reaction of the news? Is there something that I can risk off of? And is it going to be an area that I can put some risk on, basing this area and that support? Or am I going to go in short, thinking that the price might not hold if the earnings were bad or this or that? But on this particular video, key takeaway, decent news. Moving forward with phase 2 trials and looking to get approval from the FDA to try to use the data to roll this medicine or this drug to get approved for the phase 2 and use this drug to be able to give it to patients that are affected. The company helps people that are affected by cancer, but they're looking to use the same drug to help people that are affected by breast cancer. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that get affected by that. So they could be good news moving forward. And if this thing gets approved by the FDA, well, then definitely is a major breakthrough. And that's the reason why I personally think, again, I'm not giving you any advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but I think that because of that, there's a possibility that our people will be moving in, putting in some risk at a $2.02 that we printed yesterday for the 52-week low. I think it's probably a bargain, seeing that it was a decent price moving forward. If the FDA approved and this new drugs gets to be rolled out and they're able to sell it to help a lot of people that are being affected by breast cancer, then we have a massive breakthrough, and the sky is the limit for the price of this company. So just wanted to bring you an idea here and what I look for and things that I do personally to be able to hold and manage my risk and look for opportunities when the market comes out with different stocks with different news and how the market would react to the particular news. So I hope you enjoy this video and that it was of your help. And until next time, happy trading, guys.